Part 27. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 261. Chapter 261 Success. At this moment, the man seemed to be a little confused. Fenling could clearly see that the black special ability on his body was being released bit by bit. For those with special abilities are something that need to be controlled. If the special abilities in their bodies are out of control, which is not only a great challenge to outsiders, but also to themselves. Ye King Han, are you okay? Fenling gently pulled his clothes, but the next moment, the man didn't seem to recognize Fenling, raised his hand and directly hit Fenling with a black light. Just when everyone thought Fenling would be seriously injured, they saw the girl appear 10 meters away from Ye King Han the next second. How all this happened, no one at the scene could see clearly. Dongzi looked at Fenling and curled his lips. Miss Feng was the one closest to the Lord among all of them, and could even be compared with the Lord. The brain of the alliance is well deserved. They didn't know it before, but after this time, I'm afraid everyone will remember the word Fenling. Dongzi walked aside. Zidu looked at Dongzi and asked, "Why is she here? She will be hurt." "It's not like you don't know, Lord." You also saw that she was not injured." Dongzi looked at Fenling and said, "Believe her, there will be no problem." Zidu pursed his lips and said no more. He just looked at Fenling, still a little worried. After Fenling walked aside, she looked at Ye King Han, feeling full of worry. Ye King Han's situation seemed to be more serious than she imagined. "Ye King Han, please wake up and look at me." Fenling walked into Ye King Han again, but this time the man did not directly deny the person like before, but tried to calm down. Ling Ling. Ye King Han saw the face of the person in front of him clearly, and his heart was full of worry. "Ling Ling, please leave quickly." "No, you have to solve this problem." "I will not leave until this problem is solved. You also know my identity. How can a doctor abandon the patient when he sees him sick? When did you start to flaunt yourself like an outside doctor? This is not like you." Ye King Han smiled, but it was weak. He worked hard to control it for a few minutes to stop the things in his body from going crazy. "It depends on the situation. To you, I am the doctor and you are the patient. You can't deny this." Fenling raised her head proudly, then touched Ye King Han's head. "Do you believe me?" Believe no one in this world can believe it, but Fenling, he had to believe it. He had to believe it. Ye King Han looked at Fenling and saw the girl taking out a silver needle. He had heard that Ling had a set of superb ancient medical skills, but he had never used them in front of others. Was he going to use them on him this time? Ye King Han looked at the girl quietly without making any move. Later, Dongzi, Zidu and the others were a little surprised when they saw Fenling taking out the silver needle. She knows medical skills. The demon looked at Fenling's movements and wanted to step forward to stop her. But he was pulled back by Dongzi. "Wait a moment, the Lord agrees, we don't want to interfere. But the Lord's situation, if something happens." The demon was still a little worried. Dongzi shook his head. "Do you believe in the Lord?" "I believe it, but..." "Since you believe it, then don't worry about it." Although he has never seen Ling's silver needle, there seems to be rumors that Ling's silver needle skills are very powerful, so he wants to see if Fenling can be the savior. Dongzi looked at Fenling and tightened his palms. "Fenling, you must succeed." End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 262. How about chapter 262? Over there, after Fenling sealed several of the man's acupuncture points with silver needles, Ye King Han calmed down completely. Fenling put the man on the ground and sat cross-legged. She sat opposite the man, and the special power of the healing system played its best role at this time. Everyone saw the white light and the black light intertwined with each other. Finally, the white light swallowed up the black light little by little. The man finally calmed down, but Fen Ling didn't feel at all calm in her heart because she discovered that there seemed to be a power in Yeking Han's body that she couldn't control. This time, the control was due to the special silver needles and healing system. The joint effect of abilities. However, this power is increasing little by little. She is not sure whether her ability will increase faster in the future or the thing in Yeking Han's body will become stronger faster. However, the good news is that the thing in Yeking Han's body is a great tonic for Fen Ling. She can extract what she needs from that thing's body. Take your lord back to rest. I'm going to rest too. I'll come back tomorrow. Fen Ling looked at Dongzi and ordered. She now needs to find a place to digest this energy, otherwise it will not be a good thing for her. Dongxia nodded. 11 Do, you and the demon will send the master back. Mistress, I will send you back to rest. Thank you. Fen Ling glanced at Dongxia. He seemed to be calling her mistress for the first time. Even though she told him she was 0 before, he still stubbornly called her Miss Fen, although she didn't care. After all, the people around Yeking Han were arrogant, but she never expected that he would be willing to recognize her as his mistress today. Yeking Han once told her that Dongxia is the most stubborn person. Sometimes, Yeking Han can't make him agree with things that he doesn't agree with. Why did you suddenly call me mistress? Fen Ling looked at the man and asked. Dongxia paused, looked at Fen Ling and said, because you are devoted to the Lord, I recognize you. I don't serve you wholeheartedly. Yeking Han and I are two separate individuals, but I like Yeking Han, and Yeking Han also likes me. If something happens to me, he will save me. Now he is in trouble, I will also try my best to save him. This is not for his or my sake. This is because we are boyfriend and girlfriend, so it is natural. However, if you want to call me mistress, it doesn't matter. Fen Ling smiled and said, I know you want to ask about Yeking Han. In fact, you should know his condition better than I do. You should also know the state of the stakes brought to him by the thing in his body. I don't have the ability to completely eliminate it yet, but I can tell you that that thing is more beneficial than harmful to Yeking Han now. As for the future, I will also become stronger, so you don't have to worry at all. Thank you, mistress. Dongzi's eyes lit up. Go back and have a good rest. After Fen Ling sent Dongxia away, she sighed. In fact, she was just comforting the children about Yeking Han. Fen Ling sat down and carefully felt what was inside her body. Fen Ling spent all his time digesting it in one night. What was a guess before was now confirmed. This thing is really good for her, and it's harmless. So, she and Yeking Han really get along. Maybe sometimes, she has to believe in fate, otherwise, she would not know Yeking Han. Fen Ling sighed softly, and then opened the curtains. She wanted to see how the dog man was doing. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 263. Chapter 263 Nonsense. After Fen Ling's treatment, Yeking Han didn't have much to do anymore. He was just a little weak, and he just needed to nurse himself back to health. Thank you. When Yeking Han opened his eyes in the morning, he saw the little girl lying next to him with a gloomy look on her face. She must have slept late last night, so that's why she was like this. It's okay, it's okay. Are you feeling better? I just checked for you. It should be okay, Fen Ling said. She took another look at Yeking Han's condition. Her face looked much better and her color had returned. Then I have something else to do. I'll see you again in the evening. Fen Ling lowered her head and kissed Yeking Han's head. Yeking Han stared blankly at the little girl's kiss. After being stunned for a long time, she realized that Fen Ling actually kissed him herself. The man had fun for a long time. By the time he came back to his senses, the little girl had already disappeared. Fen Ling ran out the door, her face a little red. It seems like this is her first time kissing. It was actually given to this man, really. Snored. If it weren't for the fact that she just couldn't help it, she wouldn't have done it. Wang Haihong just sent a message to Fen Ling, asking her to go to school, saying that some parents were making trouble at school, saying that Fen Ling had harmed their children. But Wang Haihong knew very well that no one could be Fen Ling, because there was no need and they were not on the same level at all. Let alone a student, even if Fen Ling is allowed to be a teacher, it would be a sign of humiliation. Originally, Wang Haihong just wanted to tell Fen Ling not to show up during this period, but Fen Ling said that he wanted to resolve the matter completely, so Wang Haihong agreed. However, he was also very worried. Fen Ling knew that although the little girl had excellent grades, how on earth was she going to solve this matter? When Fen Ling arrived at school, the walls were covered with the characters Fen Ling and murderer. Many students are watching around. When they saw Fen Ling walking in, everyone subconsciously took a step back. They are all still students. They don't understand the dangers of society, and they don't have much thought to think about the twists and turns. Therefore, when they see this thing, they subconsciously feel that no matter what, it must be related to Fen Ling. Who posted it? Fen Ling frowned. Wang Haihong didn't deal with it immediately, which means that the person probably came over at night. When she came, Wang Haihong hadn't had time to finish handling it. No, I don't know. A student was caught by Fen Ling and shook his head subconsciously. It's okay, you guys disperse, I will solve this matter, but before I solve it, I hope you won't talk too much, otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to help it, Fen Ling sneered. Everyone even heard the sound of Fen Ling's joints. Subconsciously, he took a few steps back and said, I know, I can't. I know you don't know how to do it. The kids at Lingyang High School are the best, aren't they? Fen Ling smiled softly. However, after the scene just now, everyone just felt that Fen Ling's smile now was terrifying. Principal Wang. Fen Ling walked leisurely to the principal's office. Just as she was about to enter, she heard a female voice coming from inside. Should be the mother of a girl. My daughter died tragically. I worked hard to raise her up. You know, it has been 18 years. For 18 years, how much energy we have spent. You don't know. Now, the murderer has been found. You did it, why didn't you let us call the police? Could it be that you are really related to that little girl named Fen Ling, as the legend says? What are you talking about? How old am I and how old is Fen Ling? You Fei's mother, we all need evidence when talking and doing things. Now you are obviously talking nonsense without evidence. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 264. Chapter 264. What are you doing? Am I talking nonsense? Yu Fei's mother smiled. Tell me, why did I talk nonsense? Why did I slander you? Principal Wang, the video clearly proves that when my daughter entered the woods, Fen Ling also went in. On that day, apart from my daughter, only Fen Ling followed her in. Those who went in after that were all in groups. We also investigated and found that their backgrounds were ordinary. Not like Fen Ling. I have a sister who is a murderer. She also spent 3 years in prison. Don't say she's not sympathetic, she's sympathetic, but who knows what Fen Ling has learned during the 3 years she spent in this prison. Maybe he has learned bad things. After all, after being wronged for 3 years, his mentality must be broken. Where is this Fen Ling? Not only did it not happen, but it was also confirmed that the results were very good. Is this true? This is simply impossible. What video? Why didn't you ask me to come and take a look? Fen Ling walked in with her pocket in her pocket, and then looked at Wang's Haihong. Xiao Wang, how's it going? The matter has been taken care of. Wang's Haihong. Little ancestor, can you give me, the principal, some face in front of others? Don't call me Little Wang, Little Wang. Fen Ling said no, because those things outside just now made her feel very bad. Therefore, if she was in a bad mood, Wang's Haihong would not be in a good mood either. As the saying goes, we must die together, so if you are in a bad mood, you must also be in a bad mood at the same time. This can be called sharing the joys and sorrows. Fen Ling thought. Hey, is this the legendary Yufei's mother? I just met Yufei a few days ago, and now I met her mother. It's a pity that I didn't see Yufei in person. It's really a pity. Fen Ling said with a smile, as if he was heartless, as if he didn't care about Yufei's death at all. In fact, Fen Ling really didn't take it to heart, because so many people died every day in this world. If she took it to heart, would she still be able to survive? And she is not the virgin, and never has been. It can even be said that she is more cold-blooded than anyone else. How can you talk like a kid? Yufei's mother looked at Fen Ling, feeling extremely angry. Her daughter is dead, but this child can still laugh. Is this an occasion for laughter? However, Yufei's mother didn't know that Fen Ling was such a person. If you didn't make it easy for her, she wouldn't make it easy for you. When Fen Ling didn't make it easy for others, she wouldn't care at all who died in your family. What happened? She just needs to pursue her own comfort. For example, now, when everyone present is unhappy, Fen Ling feels happy. She directly pulled over the leather sofa in the principal's office and sat down, crossing her legs and looking at Yufei's mother. I watched the video on the way here, and that person was not me. Of course, I can't explain to you why it wasn't me, but, within days, we should be able to find Yufei's murderer. Oh, why should I believe what you, a little girl, say? If you say it's not you, then it's not you. Am I blind? You are not blind, but you won't believe my explanation, so I don't think it is necessary to explain to you. There is a face-changing technology in the special ability, which means that you can turn the face you see into a mask and stay on your face. That's why the scene in the video appeared. However, if she told Yufei's mother, firstly, it would be against the rules. Secondly, her mother would not believe it at all, so Fen Ling simply stopped talking. In short, she has basically been able to lock down the murderer. Next, she only needs to wait for him to fall into the trap. The prerequisite is that this woman should not act like a monster. Otherwise, all previous efforts will be in vain. Fen Ling suddenly thought, why is she really trying to help this woman? End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 265. Chapter 265 People with Special Abilities. What's your attitude as a little girl? Have you ever talked to an adult like this? As an adult, it's okay for her daughter to talk back to her. How dare this girl talk back to her? As a student, it's really. The woman's eyes became unkind when she looked at Fen Ling. She felt that Fen Ling's behavior was not what a good student should show. At that moment, she became even more convinced of what she had always believed in her heart. How could such a student achieve good results? I'm afraid there must be some background behind it. Otherwise, how could even the principal really help her? My lord, Fen Ling sneered and looked at the woman. In my heart, the word sir is also a profession. Like everyone, some people are worthy of this title, and some people, haha. Fen Ling looked at the woman indifferently, obviously without any expression, but it always made the woman feel inexplicably frightened. What's going on? Women can't figure it out no matter how hard they think. However, she felt that this must be an illusion. Otherwise, How could a little girl who was just 18 years old and had not yet been admitted to college make her feel scared? She and Fen Ling are not on the same level at all. I have to say that the woman was right. Fen Ling and she were indeed not on the same level, because Fen Ling had already surpassed her by a long, long way. Now that people are happy to sit here and talk to her, they are already doing it for her. Save face. Principal Xiang, if it's okay, I'll leave. If you come back to me in 3 days, I'll give you the answer you want. Before that, if you dare to make this matter public again, I'm sure you will, and for sure, you will never get the answer you want in this life. Why should I listen to you? The woman yelled, showing no image in the office. I think you just want to destroy the body and eliminate all traces of it. I don't want to disrespect the deceased. Fen Ling turned around and looked at the woman coldly. This time, her coldness was completely released, allowing everyone to see clearly. I hope you can understand that some things are not as simple as you think. Fen Ling Wang's Haihong stopped her. Do you need my help? Need. Fen Ling did not refuse this time. She pointed directly at the woman and said, watch her, I don't care what method you use, don't let the message get out in the past 3 days. Otherwise things will get worse. She probably now understands what the person behind it wants to do. In fact, she even has a premonition now that if this matter continues to develop, ordinary people will no longer be kept in the dark. This world will become a chaotic world sooner or later. Fen Ling took a deep breath. In fact, she has done a survey. In recent years, there have been more and more people with special abilities. In other words, certain media in this world are changing. Because their changes also change the body functions of many people, that is why people with special abilities appear. There are more and more people with special abilities. She didn't know whether this situation was a good thing or a bad thing. All she could do was to calm down temporarily. Monster Wolf, come here. Okay. 15 or 16. Here, 15-6 appeared next to Fen Ling and bowed, Master. Let's go to the woods and arrest people. She had someone test him, and that person was still in the woods. It's just that his special ability is a bit troublesome. It is a special ability that she has never seen before, so if you want to catch him, you may have to waste some effort. You see, the medium has changed, and the types of special abilities have also increased. In the future, there may be more and more special abilities. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 266. Chapter 266 Not Afraid. The grove of Lingyang High School is a particularly magical place, more peculiar than magical, because its temperature is like spring all year round, so everyone usually likes to go here. Fen Ling didn't pay attention to this before. After this incident, Fen Ling walked around here and realized that it was different. All these special features of the grove are because there are hot springs underground. However, no one knows. However, because the perception of people with special abilities is much stronger than that of normal people, people with special abilities will accurately perceive it. Moreover, the moistening of hot springs is very helpful for people with special abilities to improve themselves. Another point is that if it is a heterogeneous species, then it will be faster to absorb the blood of ordinary humans here, and even because of the hot springs, there will be fewer side effects. So, Fen Ling could probably understand why that person chose the grove. However, no matter what, that person would never have thought that the grove also has another characteristic, that is, it is particularly closed. Because we are afraid that some students will climb over the walls here are piled very high. Moreover, there are no trees around the wall, so even those with special abilities will have a hard time escaping from the wall. I don't know if that person is worried now. Fenling curled her lips and said, we can go in. Fenling looked at the illusion in front of her without blinking. Hand out his hand and waved lightly. Yun Danfan said softly, let's go in. 15 and 16 looked at each other. Master, why don't you act a little more difficult, otherwise you will be very upset, you know? After following Fenling for less than half a month, the two of them completely surrendered. There was no need for 3 months. They finally knew why Fenling told them that before. It was because she had enough confidence that she said that. If you don't have enough confidence, no one will dare to make that promise. You are really stupid. It is better for such a person to leave his master's side. So, the people around Yekinghan have very cold hearts. Outside of Yekinghan, the rest of the people are not within their scope of consideration. Fenling took Shishaliu in. When the man saw someone coming in and easily destroying his illusion, he suddenly felt a lot of anger in his heart. Damn it, who is it? It took a lot of effort to set up this environment, but in the end, Fenling was so lucky that it was ruined by him in just 1 second. Does she know what this illusion means to him? Damn it, it's not like that bunch of trash from the Alliance again. Master said that if you meet someone from the Alliance, if you can win, you will kill them directly. His brothers have met many people from the Alliance recently, and they all say that the people in the Alliance are like paper tigers. They look ferocious, but in fact they are very empty inside. Just go directly, don't be timid. So, the man subconsciously felt that Fenling should be just an empty shell. However, the man thought wrongly. Just when he was about to add some ingredients to Fenling, his body felt imprisoned by something, and he fell directly from the tree, causing a dog to eat its shit. Just then, there was a pile of bird droppings over there, and the man suddenly turned pale. Damn it, who are you? He who shows you what is. Fenling said calmly, you killed them, right? At the beginning, Fenling got straight to the point. The man was stunned for a moment, and then he responded, so what? Why, you're not planning on calling 110 for me. These people are not afraid of the police. They are really naive children. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 267. Chapter 267 Method. When the man saw that it was a little girl like Fenling, he simply ignored the two men behind her. After all, 1516 was not a strong man, he was just slightly more muscular than the average man. So from the appearance, the three of them have no advantage at all. Call 110, Fenling raised her lips, if you think this matter can be solved by 110, then you are thinking too simply. This matter can only be solved by people with special abilities, so let's have a fight. 15 or 16, when she heard the words let's have a fight, her hair stood on end. After all, on certain days, Fenling often said to them, let's have a fight, and then beat them until their mother didn't even recognize them. They looked at the man in front of them and silently gave him a hand to hold him back. You see, it's not that they felt very relaxed. This man also felt that beating a little girl was useless now, so he relaxed his mind, but when the time comes. 15 and 16 looked at each other and saw the sympathy in each other's eyes. The man heard Fenling's words and smiled, fight with you? Little girl, don't say that I bully you. You have to know that I am not weak. If you are beaten until you cry for father and mother, don't say that for us bullying. This sentence is also for you. Fenling looked at the man, feeling slightly aroused. Then, the two men made a circle, representing the field, and started fighting. Fenling thought it was a fight, but Shishiliu knew that this was a one-sided assault. Listen, children can't look at these tragic screams and this tragic scene. Children can't look at it. 15 and 16 silently covered his eyes. 10 minutes later, when the man was about to take his last breath, Fenling stopped and said, why don't you hit me? Even though I am a child, you don't have to give in to me like this. Fen Ling looked at the man with a smile. Man. What the is this? He wants to do it too, but I have to be given a chance. This Fen Ling, she didn't give him any chance at all. Tell me, why do you want to kill people? Scenery stepped on the man's stomach. In an instant, his stomach seemed to be pressed by a jack, which was very heavy. The man looked at Fen Ling and shook his head. I didn't kill anyone. How can you prove that I did? You didn't kill anyone, Fen Ling said, as if he was listening to a joke in class. A white light was sent directly into the man's body, and then the illusion suddenly appeared, and the man saw the scene at that time. You, who are you? Yu Fei suddenly saw a man. When she looked at everything around her, she suddenly realized that this was not the grove she was familiar with. At this moment, Yu Fei felt a little flustered. You don't need to know who I am, you just need to know. After a while, we will get to know each other. The man's voice was particularly erotic. Yu Fei backed away in fear, but no matter how she walked, she still couldn't get out. Yu Fei was so scared that she cried. After all, she was still a little girl. She had never seen such a scene that could not be explained. Yu Fei hoped that all this was a dream, and when she woke up, she found that it was just a dream, but no, this was not a dream. Ah! Yu Fei clutched her clothes, fearful and regretful, but her clothes were grabbed by the man, and her whole body was in his arms. Yu Fei, who had never been touched so intimately by a man, turned pale. She could even think of what was happening and stubbornly wanted to escape. However, the man did not give her this chance, and directly. The next scene, Fen Ling thought, Yu Fei's mother probably wouldn't want to see. She knew there was no way to upgrade alien species, but she never thought it was this one. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 268. Chapter 268 is here. This method can indeed maximize the improvement, but if both parties are not consensual, what is the difference between this method and a strong woman? What's more, Yu Fei is just an ordinary girl who is about to take the college entrance examination. You deserve to die. Fen Ling looked at the man with cold eyes, as if the man at this moment was already a dead person. The man who had been ravaged by Fen Ling no longer dared to say anything. He looked at the girl tremblingly. I'm wrong, boss. Please let me go. I won't dare to do it again in the future. If I let you go, who will let those children go? Do you know what impact this will have on them and their families? This man deserves to die. I'll let you live for 3 days. Please stay with me for these 3 days. After 3 days, you will regret everything you did today. Fen Ling turned back coldly and looked at Shi Shiliu. Take him away from me. Hey, have you heard that Fen Ling seems to have really killed someone? What? Why haven't I heard of it? Oh, it's in the principal's office. It said that Yu Fei and her mother went there to confront Fen Ling, but for some reason, Fen Ling came out first. Isn't it possible? Fen Ling's grades are so good, how could it be possible? Moreover, what is the relationship between Yu Fei and her? How can these two people who have nothing to do with each other be connected? Everyone shook their heads. Who knows, but flies don't bite seamless eggs. Since this news exists, she, Fen Ling, is not innocent. As Fen Ling walked on the road, she heard all these words. It wasn't until she entered class 9 that the voices became quiet. Everyone in class 9 was very excited when they saw Fen Ling. Fen Ling, are you okay? I heard that Yu Fei's mother is looking for you. She's not causing trouble for you, is she? How are you doing lately? I heard from Yelamo that you have been very busy recently and don't even have time to come to school. Fen Ling, to be honest, I think you should come here more often. Without you, our life would be so boring. No, as soon as Fen Ling comes over, something will happen. Fen Ling twitched her mouth. Who brought this group of naughty children to be so gossipy? You guys study hard, I told you I won't open it often, I came here just to deal with something. By the way, do you know when Yufei's mother heard about this? 2 days ago, a little fat man said. Fengling nodded friendly, okay, thank you. Once you know when she heard about it, it's easier to take action. After all, those people only have so many active periods. The classmate was frightened by Fengling's kind tone and quickly waved his hand. No, no, you're welcome, you're welcome. Even after Fengling left, the man was still there, stunned, and then said with a silly smile, hey, the goddess is so beautiful, such a beautiful goddess. People around, chasing stars is really scary. Look, a child who is so well behaved can be so stupid. The fat man who is stupid, just be stupid, she wants to be stupid, let her be stupid. Lingling, how is your investigation going? Are you okay? Why is Yufei's mother acting like this? She accuses you of being a sinner without any evidence. How disgusting. Yelimo got angry when she mentioned Yufei's mother. Although they were all very sad when Yufei died, that didn't give her mother an excuse to frame people at will. This has clearly crossed the bottom line. That is, Ling Ling could be so calm, but if it were them, they would have been mad to death. It's almost over, it's about to be finished, the big fish is about to take the bait. Fengling looked at the email in front of the computer screen and smiled. Coming. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 269. Chapter 269 War. In the past few days of Fengling's investigation, Fengling has been rumored to be a heinous villain. Some people have even started direct personal attacks. How can those who come out of prison be better? First of all, I think it is nonsense. If you put it in the whole country, I am afraid that it is not a scumbag who will be tortured. That's right, they regard Lingyang High School as a treasure, but now students only look at their grades and not their character? I thought, her grades weren't much better. Haha, someone was arrested behind her back, and her parents were said to be dead. Who knows, why didn't her sister be arrested 3 years ago? Now that she came out, her sister went in instead. I think she might have done it. Someone has we can't do anything to others backstage. Everyone was talking about it, but Fengling was no longer like 3 years ago. 3 years ago, she could not care and even stayed in prison for 3 years without any regrets. 3 years later, these rumors will not do anything to her. Harm. She only focuses on completing her own things. Soon, the truth of the matter came to light, and everything came to light. Those who had spoken about her and scolded him before were all silent at this time. Fengling looked at all this and sneered. Sure enough, not everyone in this world is human, at least, there are very few human parts. Lingling, look at it. There is an explanation on the internet. Everything is revealed. It's not your fault. Yelamo saw the explanation immediately and pulled Fengling to show it to her. Fengling wanted to say, she knew I know, so there is no need to show it to him. Even, she did these things herself. However, seeing that the little girl was really excited, Fengling sighed, forget it, this little girl is her only female apprentice at the moment, let it be. Fengling, I have something to ask you. Fusu walked to Fengling and glanced at Yelimo with complicated eyes. Yelimo looked confused. What happened to Fusu? What's going on? Fengling looked at Fusu and asked. Why are you suddenly so serious today? Fusu didn't say anything, but just took out something. This is the recruitment information from the Alliance. The fight has started over there. Fusu is talking about the Western region, a place where people with special abilities and alien species fight. In ancient times, there were soldiers who led troops to fight, and now, they also use their abilities to fight. Fen Ling looked at the information and took a breath, because she knew that once a fight broke out, there would be no casualties. Unless one party admits defeat, the result of admitting defeat is that this party must obey the other party's instructions in the next 10 seconds and is not allowed to do anything they shouldn't do. I understand, Fen Ling nodded. She escaped the first confrontation, but this time, she can no longer hide. Are you planning to go? Aren't you the same? Fen Ling looked at Fu Su and curled her lips. You and I both know that there are some things that can't be solved without going. Escape is never the way to solve the problem. Ye King Han will definitely agree with me to do this, and I even think that the Blood Evil Alliance will also join. 3 parties. Fu Su was stunned. Fen Ling shook her head. To be precise, it's Sifang. Don't forget, there's that thing in the dark. Those with semi-special abilities need to be more vigilant than aliens. They are time bombs that can strike you at any time and at any time. I know. Fu Su pursed his lips, looked at Fen Ling and said, then, you have to be careful too. I will join the alliance as a member of the alliance. When the time comes, if we meet on the battlefield, we can still interact with each other. Help each other. On this matter, Fu Su believes that the alliance has the same position as them, but he does not rule out that some people in the alliance have different intentions. At this time, his role comes. End of this chapter. The max level boss is too cruel. Author, Fire Otter. Chapter 270. Chapter 270. Let's go together. Fen Ling told Ye King Han the news. Ye King Han has recovered well in the past 2 days, so he can move around normally, but he still cannot use his special abilities. It is estimated that it will take another week for everything to be normal. Ye King Han looked at the girl and smiled. You should know my choice. Fen Ling raised her lips. I think our choice is the same. The 2 people looked at each other, and Fen Ling suddenly felt that this was the man. In the next life, if there is really going to be a man, then after Ye King Han, there will be no one else. By the way, I want to tell you that you should have heard about what happened at Lingyang High School recently. Fen Ling suddenly mentioned the incident at Lingyang High School. The man nodded. He is a person with semi-special abilities. Yes, Fen Ling nodded, and then continued, however, this time I suddenly discovered that this semi-special ability user seems to be 70% close to our full special ability user. I checked his body. In addition to this, there is also a particularly violent factor in his body, which is also the reason why they will not back down no matter what they face. The riot factor of the previous semi-special ability user was much less than this, so I think the birth of the semi-special ability user is probably related to this riot factor. If the people behind the scenes ignore this issue, it is likely to cause irreversible consequences while improving the success rate of fusion. But now, they know nothing about the person behind it. They only know that he is constantly creating people with semi-special abilities. Hearing what Fen Ling said, Ye King Han also realized the seriousness of the matter. He pursed his lips and said, we must find the person behind this matter as soon as possible. By the way, it is estimated that the western region will start in about half a month, so we have to set off immediately. It will take 3 days and 3 nights to get to the western region. Once we get there, we will prepare again and a week will pass. What's more, we are here. There are not many people who go there at one time. Okay, let's set out tonight. Fen Ling nodded and decided immediately. Little did she know that her provincial and municipal unified examination results had come out, and her name was at the top of the list. Everyone who talked about her before was silent. They looked at Fen Ling's results in embarrassment and could only say that no comparison would do no harm. This time, Fen Ling got perfect scores in all subjects. It was like giving Wang Haihong an explanation, because she didn't know if she could come back from the western regions. People in the western regions said that the environment there was very severe. The struggle was also brutal. I'm here. Yeking Han grabbed Feng Ling's little hand and said softly. Feng Ling nodded, turned around and hugged him. Yeking Han, promise me that we will both come back safely. In any case, keep yourself safe. I don't want to come back alone, and I don't want you to come back alone. Don't worry, it won't happen. Yeking Han patted the girl's back gently. He could clearly feel the girl's nervousness, and he was also very happy that she could be nervous about him. You are going to the western regions, are you crazy? When Yao Lang heard Feng Ling's words, he felt bad. Feng Ling shook his head. I'm not crazy. I'm here to ask you if you want to go. If you don't go, forget it. I'll find someone else to go with me. Little ancestor, you have already gone, how can I not go? If I don't go, those people will have to peel off my skin. The demon wolf sighed. Don't worry, little ancestor, I will protect you with my life. So, feel free to go for it. Who wants your life? Just keep it for your future girlfriend. Feng Ling rolled her eyes and said, Fu Su will also go there this time. You can come together. End of this chapter.